man that never gives away with injuries, is he? He always says, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on Riccardo Calafiori, see what's happened there. But what do you think most pleased him today after what he was fairly philosophical after the Brentford game? We were both there, Martin, but ultimately he will have been disappointed that 2 points were dropped there. So what do you think he was most pleased with about today?
He found solutions in the final third, options. There was some good balls played in over the top. Ezra as well, that improvement. Jesus, the quality of his finishing, a little bit of class in and around. And Madueke continuing to beat his fullback at will. You know, I know the opposition today not as good, but they're still doing this in other games. And then goals for Martinelli as well is really important. He knows that the final third, these guys have to be filled with confidence going into the remaining fixtures of the season. We
wait to see what the draw is for Arsenal, but Christian Norgard gets his opportunities here in the FA Cup. Does he deserve a lot of credit for the squad player that he is, because he's always ready when needed, but not necessarily first pick?
He knew his role when he was coming here, let's be honest. I mean, he had Zubimendi and Declan Rice in there. But again, you need squad players like that. Any teams that have been on, that have won, squad players are super important. We had that at Man United. We had so many. We had 4 or 5 of them, and they made such a difference. Whenever they slotted in, they were ready. And I think Mikel getting him an opportunity to play today, he'll be important, you know, toward this run-in. But I think, first of all, we've got to say to Mikel, what a job he's done managing this group. I know the squad's a lot stronger. They finished second, but they look ready for the occasion, and that's all you can be. I think he's done a brilliant job coaching this team, and they're the favourites virtually in every competition. That's down to Mikel and the squad that they've built. But again, he'll want them to just finish this job. They put in such a great effort up to this point. You know, he'll want to see him get over the line.
Leo Trossard said that Christian Norgard sets the standard in training. That kind of says a lot. Do you not think?
Do you know, and there's been games when you've wanted to put him on the bench, but you've not been able to. But yet he comes bouncing back. First training session, I'm being told his attitude is great. These are the really important players that you bring into the football club. You've got to get the right mix. You know, everyone plays their part. And it's just like, you know, he's probably going around the dressing room doing a little bit of that work for the manager, reminding people of how good they are. And that's something that you can forget. The scrutiny now is so huge that players start to wonder, am I good enough? Can we win things? You know, that inner circle has to stay really tight. Do you know, and for them to go on and win something, the pressure, you've got to love it, you've got to relish it, start to enjoy it. These opportunities don't really come along too often. To be still in 4 competitions, you know, 1 final in the box, ready to go. Let's get it on with Man City, who are starting to go through the gears. And you've got to enjoy this tussle. This is the life now of you're a prospective champion, and this is the lifestyle. You've got to get used to it, and you've got to enjoy it, embrace it. Luckily tonight, they've been able to rest players. And then it just shows the strength of the group. They've come in. There's still people. They're still not really secure. Who is the best 11? Who is the best centre forward? You know, who's going to play out in those wide positions? So it's all up for grabs, as is 4 trophies.
Yep, exactly what Mikel Arteta wants. Competition for places. Let's hear from Christian Norgard. He's speaking to Danny. Lovely to see that. Right, take us inside this dressing room. How excited are these players that they are competing on all 4 fronts? They're leading the way in a couple of competitions as well. They've got a League Cup final coming up. But as players, did you discuss this? What do you do? Group WhatsApp?
No, you don't get too far ahead. I know it sounds super boring. The press, everybody, the media, we always want people to say, oh, what's the plan? There isn't. Next game is the most important. I thought today they did a fantastic job. They are the favourites in a lot of these competitions. But again, they'll want to finish the job. They've put in such a great effort. They have everything in place, Becky, virtually everything. They got the manager, got the players, got the squad, got the depth. They just got to finish the job, and I think that camaraderie could be the thing that gets them over the line in these competitions. We've got a big couple of months coming up, but I believe this could be one of the best seasons Arsenal have ever had, and that is saying a lot with what they've achieved here.
It's a day by day thing. And I remember, I can hear him ringing in my ears, George Graham saying, you know, guys, look what we're doing in the season. Nothing else matters now more than what we do. Look after yourselves, rest well, sleep well. You know, whatever you're doing the day before today, do it again because it was excellent. Keep that lifestyle going, and we could be doing something special. But it's you got to win every game that's in front of you. It's simple as that.
All right, we see what Arsenal.
Tough day for Wigan, but Arsenal they're the best right now. You have to acknowledge that.
Yeah, Wigan did do much better in the second half, Martin.
Yeah, they'd have been delighted that they didn't concede. You could see that the change to a back 4, I thought that actually suited them. They seemed to get it wrong in the first half, went to press, The back four or back five weren't really dropping off to read things, and I think Arsenal as well, they took the foot off the pedal a little bit. Another game coming up in midweek, lots of games here, Owen, and you'd do that naturally, wouldn't you?
Yeah, to be fair, do you know what? I thought Matt Smith made a big difference when he come on. At the base of that midfield for Wigan. I thought allowed him to get on the ball and dictate, let him get a little bit of possession, but look, it's tough when you're going to come to a place like this. You know, Arsenal are so dominant. Even though they made changes, it's showed with the squad. Obviously, it's been a difficult season, I think, for Wigan in League One. They're in a relegation battle there. But credit to their fans showing up, 5,000 strong, I think. Wasn't meant to be today. I felt sorry for Glenn Whelan because they conceded. Up to the first goal, they were quite solid. Just had no pressure on the ball. That back line was a little bit too high. And when you give players like Eze and Madueke that space and time, they're going to hurt you.
You're playing one of the best teams in Europe. You know, they've been top of that European League, top of the Premier League. So it's quite a daunting prospect. Obviously, they need to get the new manager in as soon as possible and try and stay in League One. That's the goal now for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they certainly do have bigger priorities than the FA Cup. We're expecting, well, the rumour is Gary Caldwell is the man that will enter the frame, possibly as soon as tomorrow.
Well, he's had 3 relegations that I'm aware of. He took Wigan down.
He also took them up there, Martin. He took them up as well.
Well, yes, he did. So let's see whether he can do that, because it will be a massive achievement if he can do that, where you see them sitting in the table right now.
Yeah, for this group of players, though, for Wigan, I mean, how do you think they feel right now? That's sort of 5 games on the bounce they've lost. I know this was a big task today.
Look, it was a huge test. I think, you know, credit the fans for coming to support the team. You know, you hope maybe can you find a way to keep, you know, defend really well, but look, the fans are in good spirits. The players gone on to support them. Look, it's been a really difficult season for them, and today was a bit of a day out for them. I don't think anybody expected them to win the game unless it went absolutely perfect, but I thought the goalkeeper second half played really well as well. He's very highly rated. There were some positives, especially from the second half performance, but let's be honest, it's a big ask for League One teams to come to the Emirates and get a result.
I think him, as well as just looking there at Graham Barra, you know, he came down at half-time and he seemed to settle things down a little bit. Obviously, it's a young group on the bench, but a difficult day for the club. But the numbers that they brought here today, it was quite remarkable to see 5,000 Wigan fans here. A little bit disappointing for them.
All right, well, it was Arsenal's evening. We can hear from Noni Madueke and Danny Jameson.